What is going on, everyone? We're going to do something new once again today. I tried it a little bit yesterday. We're doing it again today. We're going live to react to this Phillies game that we saw this afternoon. And there is a problem. Honestly, there is a problem with Spencer Howard. I am annoyed with Spencer Howard. My man's velocity is dipping way too extreme. Why? Why is it getting to this level of ridiculousness? I don't understand. You're telling me 97 to 91. You're telling me I'm watching him go from 96 to 92. Why does it happen the way that it does? It's truly embarrassing. It truly bothers me. And why? We have to rely on Ranger Suarez to finish off the job. And kudos to him. He had 3 strong innings. And Ranger Suarez, out of nowhere, popped off of what happened last season with the COVID-19 stuff. And all of a sudden, he comes into this year, and he becomes a different force. He becomes a different type of player. But in what universe are we truly witnessing this version of Spencer Howard and Ranger Suarez? I was told that this guy's a top end of the rotation piece. He's not. He's lucky to be a bullpen guy. I don't know what's going on here, but after the first inning when he gets Trey Turner with a nice 95-mile-per-hour fastball that was swung right through, I watched his command go to shit, and he's hitting batters, and he's getting yanked in the third inning with 2 men on and 1 out. I can't believe it. It's embarrassing. And I feel bad for the guy, I do, because you can hear him post-game. He's basically defeated. He's getting asked all these questions. Why did you think this happened? Why do you think this continues to happen? Are you discouraged about what you continue to see? And he goes, look, this is a tough game. And if you don't have your command with your off-speed pitches, and when you don't have it with your fastball either, it's hard to get the goal accomplished. But I'll tell you what, I am so discouraged from what I've seen out of this whole Spencer Howard debacle. It really is just killing me inside that this is the pitcher that we're getting. And also keep in mind that the Phillies could have maneuvered around their pitching rotation differently than what they did, considering their game against the Cincinnati Reds got canceled. And on top of that, they had an off day. They had a chance to somewhat maneuver around their rotation. They went Wheeler versus Scherzer, but then they throw Howard out there. Now we're going to see Velasquez out there. I'm just a little baffled with some of the decision-making. And why do we continue to trot Spencer Howard out there? I do believe that it's way better than Matt Moore and better than Chase Anderson. At least I believe that before I saw this. But now, do I still feel that way? Is it time to just give Ranger Suarez the nod and ask him to go out there and start, and maybe you can get better production from there? I don't know, but it really is eating me alive. I don't even think it's doing him much, though. Is it worth throwing him out there every other time it's his chance to get a start and ask him to give you something when he can't even get out of three innings? He got yanked at 48 pitches. What are we going to do? This is your number 1 prospect. Seriously, let that sink in. Spencer Howard is your number 1 prospect, and he's a disaster. He's not even close. Can you rely on him for 1 inning out of your bullpen? I'm sorry, if that's what Spencer Howard becomes, it's a nightmare. And it doesn't even feel right that we're leading off right now with his velocity dip and his command problems after a 5-2 win. This team did win the baseball game. Andrew McCutchen did hit a 3-run bomb, which was monstrous. Bryce Harper did return to the lineup, and he had a big hit that gave him an extra cushion for a 5-2 lead in the 8th inning. He was on the base paths. Bryce Harper was awesome in specific moments. The bullpen stepped up. You had Bradley, Coonrod, Alvarado, a doozy, may I add. Was there ever a concern? No. Was there ever a doubt? No. Connor Brogdon stepping in on a day where Hector Neris was not available because he decided to pop out a baby. So now you're in a predicament with your bullpen when you don't have your closer. Of course, it's a close game that night. You don't have your closer. And when you're going with the guy who can't even give you 3 innings and he's on a massive pitch count, or not really a massive pitch count, that might make it seem like he has a large amount of pitches to throw. He has a very limited amount of pitch count to throw. Hey, let's go with Spencer Howard tonight. It's just egregious. But also, they closed the door. The bullpen stepped up. Might have been murky. Might have got a little ugly. Might have became 4-2 after Bell hit a homer. And quite frankly, you did not have great defense either. Another game where here goes poor offense here goes poor defense in the infield. Gene Segura, ball going through. Nick Maton bobbling the ball, trying to throw it to Rhys Hoskins. It's all over the place. The difference is when the Nationals made a mistake, the Phillies actually pounced and made them pay as well. Whether it was a Rhys Hoskins 0-2 count blooper out in left field, good base running by Segura and Bryce Harper on that play as well. Whether it was that or Andrew McCutchen first pitch swinging and a killer of a home run, they pounced on the Nationals' flaws, and the Nationals are not a good team. They are where they are for a reason, so they make mistakes too. The Phillies are not the only team that makes terrible decisions and make poor plays out in the field. The Nationals do that as well, and you saw that. You did. You witnessed that while that was kind of displayed in the fourth inning. So Bryce Harper in the fourth got rocked pretty good on his shoe, and he ends up going down. It looked like he hurt his foot, and he stayed down for a little bit of time, and here we go. Bryce is just banged up all the damn time. I don't think this is going to be anything that really limits him, but at that moment, at that time, when he gets hit and he goes down, first off, I see the replay a billion times, and I didn't know if it was anything that warranted that type of reaction, but I'm also not questioning the man. If Bryce Harper feels the need that he needs to stay down for a minute and he felt something on the top of his foot, by all means, I'm saying Bryce Harper got rocked in the foot in an area that definitely gave him discomfort. He stayed in the game, obviously. He came up big in the game, obviously, after that. But it's like as soon as this man gets off the IL, is it just one of those years, one of those seasons where Bryce Harper is getting into some trouble. Bryce Harper is not staying healthy. Bryce Harper is getting beat up. I mean, I guess the question or the answer to that question is still out there, and it is still very possible. But it's just weird because they win 5-2, and I'm pissed off with Spencer Howard more than I am excited about this team because I don't know if this win truly means much for me. They have to win the series, right? I mean, there's no doubt about it. You lose tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And keep in mind, no one's going to give a damn about their baseball game because the Sixers are taking on the Atlanta Hawks at the same time. So it's going to be somewhat of background noise, and you check in afterwards. No one's going to fully be digesting the Phillies game. But if they don't win tomorrow, it's the same thing with the Red Series. Oh, whoop-de-damn-do. You score 17 runs in Game 2. That doesn't mean a damn thing if you lose the series in Game 3, and ridiculously enough, you didn't even get to play that Game 3 because of the weather out in Cincinnati. So I don't know what this win really means. I saw poor defense. I saw bad pitching from your starter. And it doesn't even matter about your starter this individual game. This is supposed to be a guy that's going to change your franchise. Spencer Howard was discussed where he's Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler, Spencer Howard. Spencer Howard stinks. Spencer Howard, I'm telling you, I saw a fastball clocking at 97.3. I then saw a fastball innings later, not 500 innings later, may I add, barely any innings later, drop down to 91.1. 6.2 mile per hour difference in a handful of innings? That's absurd. That's insanity. That really is. What is going on here? How does this happen? Start after start after start after start. There's two ways to look at it. Keep throwing him into the wolves, or, dude, you got to stop throwing him into the wolves because he can't handle it. He's not ready. He's not ready to compete. And that makes me question everything about all these other pitchers. Medina at one point was thought of as a high prospect of a guy that'd be able to shell some lineups and mow down some lineups. He stinks. Mick Abel, come on. Every time I see Spencer Howard, the first thing I think of after an egregious performance is, what does this mean about Mick Abel? Every time. Go back to everything I've ever said about Spencer Howard since he's been thrown into this debacle. It always relates to Mick Abel and how I feel he's going to stink too, because why? Why would I feel confident? It is amazing stuff in the beginning of the game. It really is. Strike out to Trey Turner. It's amazing. It makes me fist pump. I'm like, okay, but the serious question is it going to continue? When is it going to dive in the other direction? And within moments, I'm watching him hit batters. I'm watching his command go off. I'm watching all of his off-speed pitches go to shit. I mean, come on. Who's teaching this kid what to do? Or who's hiding an injury? Or what's going on? Because he wasn't running any bases today. All right? There's no excuses for the base running today. And don't tell me that 4 weeks ago he ran to first and he's still trying to catch his breath. Because if that's the case, get the hell out of my city, damn it. It's just unbelievable that this is what we witness. And I feel like it shouldn't be this way. And I feel it shouldn't be that I feel this stressed out and this pissed off after victory because they needed to get a win. But I know that there's 9 billion problems with this team. I know I can't rely on the. If you don't play the Nationals and you play a better team, you make those same mistakes out there, whether it's Segura, whether it's Maton, whether it's Spencer Howard's poor start to the game. Other teams rock you, punch you in the jaw, and they piss on you. And from there, you're pretty much done. You're waxed. You're over. And any other team, it really does annihilate you from there. So it sucks. It sucks even though that there were some good things in this game, like Ranger Suarez, like your entire bullpen, like Juan Soto striking out twice looking, which that damn lick of the lips, the grabbing of the nuts, the playing around with his foot in the box, all that, it's frustrating to watch. And he stared down Zach Wheeler yesterday, so to see him strike out twice looking is always fun. But at the end of the day, 48 pitches for your top prospect, and he looks miserable. He looks unplayable. I mean, really, how many times when Matt Moore and Chase Anderson were pitching did we think and we felt the need to go to Spencer Howard? And we said, it couldn't get worse. It might be just as bad, and it could be awful as well. But there's no way it's worse, right? Damn. Is it possible that we were wrong? Is it possible that it is worse? Is Spencer Howard worse than Matt Moore? I don't know. You can make the argument that it's worse than Chase Anderson, though. Seriously, why don't we? I mean, I can't believe it. Here we are. All right? We're going to look up the Chase Anderson game log. This makes me sick. This makes me sick to my stomach that I am now comparing the number one prospect for the Phillies to Chase Anderson. So Chase Anderson, oh my God, this is so bad. He went 1 2/3 on May 24th. He went 1 inning against Boston. He went 1 1/3. Holy shit. I don't remember it being like this. I really don't. He went 3 straight outings of not getting to the second inning. Why do I not remember this? Seriously. Oh, that's okay. Hold on a second. It's been a long day for me. I just got back from the Fanatic. I was on the air from 7 to 10. Hold on a second. Some of these, he probably came out of the pen. He probably came out of the pen. He didn't start in all those. He came out of the pen. But just the fact that you're that bad of a pitcher that I actually had a brain fart there and thought that you possibly didn't come out of the pen just shows you everything about where this Phillies team really is. I guess it's hard to tell, but I'm watching him. Okay, if we were looking at more of the times of him starting, 5 innings, 2 earned runs. 4 innings, 2 earned runs. 4 innings, 2 earned runs. 5 innings, 1 earned run. I can't believe I'm saying this, but that's significantly better than anything Spencer Howard has given you, to the point where I'm sick. I'm sick. Spencer Howard is garbage. Spencer Howard is straight up garbage. What's not garbage? I'll tell you what's not garbage. Give me a second. Aha. DraftKings Sportsbook. DraftKings Sportsbook is not only my favorite sportsbook, but also America's top-rated sportsbook. I love using DraftKings Sportsbook. It is easy to navigate, has plenty of instructions for new bettors, and nearly limitless ways to get in on all of the action. My friends and family have been loving DraftKings Sportsbook, and I know you will too. Listen to this great offer. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code Brodes when you sign up to turn $1 into $100 in free credits. Bet on the basketball team of your choice to win their next game, and if you do, you will claim $100 in free credits. That's promo code Brodes for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Wager paid out in site credits. Restrictions apply in partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Yeah, so right now, by the way, I'm doing this live, something new I'm trying to implement, just going live with the podcast and getting it up there quicker. On the weekends, my weekends get a little tough because I'm also on the radio and the afternoon games happen, and sometimes I'm on the radio when the games happen. There's a TV in studio, so it's not like I missed the game, but I'm just trying out some of this live stuff, and I see the chat. I will also get to the chat maybe at the end, but I do want to take some anytime hotline calls as well to get your reaction on what we saw. I don't want it to go unnoticed that there were positives here. It's just hard for me to really stress the positives in this game just because when Spencer does this, it's killing and it's deflating. And I just saw a team that, sure, Bryce was a spark and he was definitely big in some moments, gave you some added insurance late to make it 5-2, and he got on base in that fourth inning when he got hit by a pitch which helped out Rhys Hoskins and helped out Andrew McCutchen, and your team got into rhythm there, which is big. I think that also the bullpen. I mean, it can't go unnoticed. Archie Bradley, Coonrod, Alvarado, and look, iffy moments, maybe. Did you think that there was going to be a Zimmerman hit? Maybe. For what I'm sure. Got a bit nervous when you saw Zimmerman at the plate. You didn't feel like the most comfortable fan in the world. There were some positives here. Not enough, though. Not enough to make me change. I need to see a window of good baseball. I need to see 7 of 10. I need to see a winning brand, 8 of 10. Do I think that's going to happen? Absolutely not. This team's not good. Absolutely not. I don't anticipate seeing that happening. So until I see something that makes me feel differently about this team, I'm unfortunately going to continue to look negative and rant and rave, and that's the way we should do it. So let's go to the Anytime Hotline and hear what you had to say.
Why isn't Rangers Suarez starting? And why isn't Spencer Howard working at Wawa?
Oh, come on. We're going Wawa. Nothing wrong with working at Wawa. Great people. Went there today for a nice fat cup of coffee. 2 cups of coffee, may I add, throughout my day. But, jeez. I think there's something with Ranger Suarez, though. Ranger Suarez has been incredible. Ranger Suarez has been something that I would have never imagined in a million years him becoming. And the fact that you get it from a different side, too, with the lefty, I think is so important to where this team is right now. Now, I just looked up Chase Anderson. Let's look up Ranger Suarez and his game log. By the way, he gave you 3 strong innings today. 3 strong innings, 3 strikeouts, 0 earned runs, 0 walks. He's just been super effective, and he's had these other hitters off balance and truly questioning what's going on. So if you go to his game log here in 2021, he gave you 2 innings pitched on, that was May 9th. It's going backwards. He gave you 2 innings pitched on June 1st against Cincinnati. He had a strikeout there. May 30th, he gave you 1/3 of an inning. He gave you 3 innings on May 27th against the Miami Marlins, had 3 strikeouts. 2 innings against Boston, 0 earned runs, 0 hits. I mean, he gave you 3 straight outings, 2 against Miami, 1 against Boston, where he did not allow 1 hit. 1 hit, and in those 3 outings, he only allowed 1 walk. He's been great. Ranger Suarez has been incredible. I think at this point, they're going to try and force Spencer Howard, I'm sure. At some point, there's got to be a limit, though, right? I mean, there's got to be a breaking point where you stop forcing him out there. But are they going to commit to that? I don't know. I don't know. There's 2 ways to look at it. Dave Dombrowski, Joe Girardi, John Middleton realized that he's not capable of pitching in Major League Baseball. Or they think he's got to figure it out at some point. How do you get better? You continue to pitch. You continue to throw. But this velocity drop is a joke. This isn't something where a guy's throwing 97, 96, and he's just losing command, and he's just getting hit hard. This is something where it's extreme. This is unacceptable. This is outrageous. It ties together with all the nuts stuff that happens here in Philadelphia. This is equivalent to, maybe not the same level, but when Markel Fultz forgets how to play basketball, that's monstrous. When Ben Simmons can't shoot a basketball, that doesn't happen in all these other cities. Those are bizarre. Spencer Howard losing 6.2 miles per hour is bizarre in 2 innings. You can't make this nonsense up. So this is wild. This is so crazy. This isn't just your pitchers failing and Nick Pivetta can't put his stuff together. This isn't Vince Velasquez can't put his stuff together. I'll take Nick Pivetta and Vince Velasquez any day of the week over dropping this type of intense velocity in a fastball over 2 innings. Any day of the week. And it's not even close. I'm talking about Chase Anderson over Spencer Howard. No! No! No!
Hey, Brodes, I decided to call in about the Phillies being the Nationals 5-2 today. One thing I noticed, and I think a lot of people, you noticed certainly earlier, Spencer Howard's not the answer. The guy's velocity just falls off a cliff. His control, I don't know. I mean, the guy's not the answer. It was a disaster early on with the defense, but then things got going in the fourth when the offense really clicked together. I thought the bullpen for the most part was good. Let's see if he can win a series and, really flip the switch because they're going to need to because we're not very optimistic about this team right now. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, we're not. Okay, we're not. I'm sitting here crying while you're making your phone call and your great points. If they do win the series, I think that's very solid. Look, I know I mentioned 7 of 10. I know I mentioned winning baseball games, but you got to start somewhere, and I do recognize that winning this series is starting somewhere. You're at home. I don't love how they approach this whole thing with the pitching rotation. Tomorrow, Vinny V's on the mound looking for his bounce-back game. I'm not ruling out a good start by Vince Velasquez at all. I'm also not saying that I feel the most confident in the world based off of him taking a step back, which was inevitable. Him taking a step back is somewhat what we probably anticipated seeing, and we thought that it was probably realistic. He wasn't going to give you those 6 innings, 0 earned runs, or the 6 innings, 1 earned run, that type of play forever. This is big for him, though, because this can put himself back on track and have us feel better about him. Or if he puts together 2 outings of a disaster of 3 innings and things of that, and you just worked your bullpen pretty heavily today, then yeah, I mean, it could be very damaging for sure. So the Nationals aren't good. Neither are the Phillies. It's 2 bad teams playing a baseball game. I guess when I watch this team, though, and they make these horrendous mistakes over and over again, the fact that we're talking about Major League Baseball and it's to this level, and you know it's not going anywhere, nothing's changing. You will see the same Alec Boehm that missed that fly ball at the third baseline a few games. You'll see that all year. Nick Maton bobbling, you'll see that all year. Gene Segura with the ball underneath him, you'll see that all year. You'll see all these mistakes. You'll see it all year. You will always see it. It's always going to happen. Nothing's going to change. And the way you fix that is you build from within. You have a great prospects. You can call them up. They can fill roles. And unfortunately, your prospects they call up, like Nick Maton, who's been a great story, but, bobbling that ball and all, it can't happen. Alec Boehm's a prospect, and he's struggling. I'm just saying the way you fix all these issues, because you can't just constantly buy all these players left and right. You can't spend billions of dollars in the offseason, especially when your owner's unwilling to go over the luxury tax, even though he recognizes that he has a disaster farm system. That's what you have to do. He's unwilling to do that, so you can't just change everything. The way you do it is you draft, you develop, you grow, and you're not even close to that, and your prospects you do call up, as I just alluded to. And Alec Boehm's supposed to be part of the future, but he had another O for day. He's really struggling. He's really hurting inside, and you can see it with his body language. He looks defeated. He looks lost. These prospects that you're calling up, Spencer Howard's a joke. Nick Maton, nice story, but he's not the answer. And Alec Boehm, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. All the young cats that you're relying on, not really there. And speaking of shortstop, as I brought up Nick Maton, Didi Gregorius making progress, but as I alluded to when it first happened, this is something that's going to take some serious time off of him. This is something that's going to take a while, and who knows what you're even going to get when you get back, whether there's inflammation, whether there's no inflammation. Whatever you get out of Didi Gregorius, it's going to be very limited this season, and to expect him to just come back and then instantly, hey, the lineup's fixed. Really? The lineup's fixed? I don't know about all that. I don't know. He's just going to come in and start raking easily and start hitting moonshots to right field. I would like to think so. I would love that the answer would be yes. I would love to be proven wrong, but I think when you go through an injury this long and you're losing this much time and you got to work to get back and see the flow of things and this and that, it takes the time. It takes a toll on your body. So I do want to get to some of the comments. This is a new element. If I start going live a little bit more, there is an opportunity to hop in on some of these comments in the comments section. So let's go on to some of your questions here in the chat. God says, look at all the other teams with their young guns. You got Vlad, Tatis, Acuna, many more. Bohm consistently going over. Yes, I agree with that. You also have Mickey Moniak as God ends up continuing more here. Yeah, I mean, there's a problem with the Phillies organization, whether it comes from drafting Adam Hazley over Rogers, who's a pitcher on the Miami Marlins, who's fantastic. Who else did you pick for the year of Ian Anderson? Was Mickey Moniak. The list goes on and on. I mean, we've been talking about it and crying about it for years and years now that they don't know what they're doing. They can't get on the same page. And then when they do draft guys, no one becomes a star. And it looked like Alec Bohm was going to be, and by no means am I ruling him out. He's not a major league defender, and I don't think he's ever really going to be, especially not at third base. He might move to first and be just as bad as Rhys Hoskins, and then everything we're pissed off with Rhys Hoskins defensively, we're just going to move that same anger to Alec Bohm. I don't think he's an MLB defender. You know, you think about the DH coming to the National League, and that could help out tremendously for sure. But, you know, as bad is better than this. So you see him pure professional at-bats. There's more in there. He's just got to figure it out. But right now, I mean, it doesn't seem very good. I don't think this is who he's going to be forever. I don't know if he's a 318 hitter, a 320 hitter, like some of the damage we saw him do last year with runners in scoring position with 2 strikes. I used to praise him every single day about it, and adjustments are going to happen. Young players, it does happen to. But you're right. You watch all these other superstars and watch all these other players grow and groom into Juan Soto, Acuna Jr., players where, you know, come on. You don't have Alec Bohm hiccups like you have with these studs. You just don't. And the Phillies have been in plenty of positions to get those players, and they're not. And they're not. And that's where the issues lie. Mr. DG Money says, just wait for Bryson Stott. He got called up the other day. Yeah, I like Bryson Stott, but another thing here is, and this is no knock on the player specifically, because I think it's unfair to truly judge them right now because, well, we don't know what they're going to be. But based off of the Phillies' track record, they can do whatever they want. And I'm not going to believe it until I see it. And it's not their problem. And unfortunately, they are guilty by association. That's pretty much how I'm going to handle this. They're guilty by association. So because the Phillies drafted them, because they're developing under the Phillies farm system, because they're working with these coaches, I can't say they're going to be good, and I feel highly about any of them because every player since has pretty much been an absolute bum, an absolute bust. So that's where, you know, it really is a joke. Sacred Gaming says, I really like the opening role with Ranger Suarez coming out of the pen. Well, I don't know if it, the problem is you say opening as if you have an opener in Spencer Howard. That's not what you want. We were told top end of the rotation. We were told top dog. We were told a legitimate starter in this league. Now we're result to calling him an opener? See, if this is what you're getting out of Spencer Howard, I'll be honest with you, I don't even want it. I don't think it does him well. I don't really think it does much for this team. Get Chase Anderson out there. Get Ranger Suarez out there full-time as a starter. I don't want to deal with this garbage of, hey, go give us 2 innings. And then, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? That's Spencer Howard? That's your guy? That's what we get? An inning or 2? I love analytics, okay? I love the Tampa Bay Rays. I love everything they do. The Phillies are in no position to try and get cute and start doing all that. They're not in any position. I don't give them the benefit of the doubt at all that they know how to operate with the proper mindset to start maneuvering through an opener and a bullpen game. Get the hell out of here. I do not give them any sort of credit. I don't give them any sort of possibility of landing that. No way in hell do I think that that's fine. Let's take one more comment here before we end the podcast. Tommy Joseph is better than Bohm. Come on, I can't be doing that. That can't be the way I'm ending it, can it? Can it be? So, maybe not. Maybe that's... Justin says here, Justin McLaughlin, Ranger Suarez should be a star. I think he deserves an opportunity. I don't know if he's going to become a stud. Like, I don't know if this is who Ranger Suarez is going to be forever. It's been a pretty miraculous turnaround. He's had good moments in the past. He's also got shelled in the past. He's had injuries. He's had COVID-19. I don't know what Ranger Suarez is. It would be unreal to think that he can be a shutdown guy. And bullpen pieces are so random. And is he a bullpen piece? Is he not? I don't know. My point, though, with bullpen pieces, sometimes they're great, sometimes they're bad. One year they're amazing, the next year they're bad. They get paid in free agency, they become bums. I mean, it's one big cycle with bullpen pieces. Maybe he can be a back end of the rotation starter. Is he a guy that's going to give you 0 earned runs and only allow 1 hit and give you 0 walks consistently? I don't know. It's such a small sample size. I'm willing to find out, though. Just like with the Spencer Howard thing. I was willing to find out if he was better than Matt Moore and Chase Anderson. I don't know if he is. I was willing to find out. I don't know if he is. Well, I'm willing to find out with Ranger Suarez if he's better than those guys. So, with that being said, before we head out of here, do not forget about my friends over at Orbit Energy and Power. They are home to your solar experts. So if you're looking to get solar energy system, backup energy services, water purification systems, clean, healthy water for you and your family, make sure you check them out at orbitenergy.us. Their phone number, 800-836-3987, 800-836-3987. They do work in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, and Florida. So Orbit Energy and Power, home to your solar experts, best-in-class work. Make sure you check them out. I want to thank everybody so much for hanging out with me today on this live stream. The Phillies play tomorrow. Work with me a little bit with that because of the Sixers game. Also, I will be hosting on 97.5 The Fanatic tomorrow, right after the Sixers game. Right after the Sixers game, head on over to 97.5 The Fanatic. I will be hosting with Tyler Zulli, getting your reaction, taking your phone calls, reacting to the game. So I'm super excited for that. Be on the lookout. And then, yeah, in terms of the YouTube podcast, after the show's over, I'm on till 8 p.m., I'll drive home, and then I'll get settled in and record everything for YouTube. So just a heads up for how tomorrow's going to play out. Thank you all so much for listening, and I will see you next time.